Hey everyone, and welcome back to Branding with Becks. It's your host here, and I'm so excited to dive into the dangerous middle and why businesses get stuck there. This is a solo episode. It's been a while since we've done one of these. I honestly can only hear it of one ear right now. My eustachian tube's clogged due to my sinuses. I don't even want to talk about it because it's honestly so stressful, and it's just been one of those days. But you know what? We're here. We're recording. We're happy, and we're back. But yeah, it's good to kind of sit down and talk with you guys, just me and you. I don't know. It's been a while, right? I want you to picture this. It's a Saturday morning, your dog is freshly groomed, your coffee's still warm, you attach their bow tie to their collar, and suddenly they're not just your pet, they're the main character. People stop while you're on your walk, they smile, they ask where it's from, but here's the part they don't see. That bow tie, it's helping another animal get a second chance, a warm bed, a full bowl, a safe place to land. Becks Tie's luxury bow ties are crafted with premium fabrics and designed for comfort, fitting most dog collars, because your pet deserves the very best. When your best friend shows up looking dapper, they're not just wearing style, but they're wearing impact. Dress them beautifully and give back effortlessly. Shop now and make their next strut mean something at www.becksties.co. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about something that quietly kills a lot of businesses, and that is the middle. I talked about this a little bit on my Instagram and on my LinkedIn. If you haven't followed the Branding with Becks LinkedIn, I highly recommend you do so. That's where we're talking about a lot of the businessy side of things. I think it's a little bit more professional of a platform, but I feel like people are engaging more and having fun there. So definitely follow along with that. I'll add the link in the show notes. And let's talk about the dangerous middle today. This is not going to be a polished episode. I don't really have that much planned, kind of just running with it, but it is something that has come up, and I feel like I can resonate with it personally for my own business, and I think a lot of people can too as well. So we're not talking about the beginning, we're not talking about the high end, but we are talking about the middle. For a lot of businesses and in most markets, there are really two strong positions that you can take. So you can take a low price at a high volume, or you can set your price point higher and expect maybe a lower volume in return. Both work, but the middle, that's where things get a little bit shaky, and we're going to break that down today. When you go for a low price point in something that you're selling, you're really playing the scale game. So you're looking to attract price sensitive customers. Maybe you want to move a lot of units. You want to rely on that efficiency piece. You think simple offers, fast decisions, minimal friction. In a low price point, you're kind of thinking about the volume and the system. So it's really about getting that product out there into the consumer's hands quickly. Maybe they're not taking a lot of time to make that decision because the product is priced lower. And they're also really conscious of the purchases that they're making based on price. So some people may be making purchases because it's cheaper, and that to them, that's what's more important. To others, they may look at other areas and other businesses to spend money on. So when you go to the higher price, you're actually going to maybe sell fewer units, but with bigger margins. So you're attracting maybe wealthier, but more committed customers, people that are more willing to spend more money on whatever it is that you're offering. These buyers are actually focused more on outcomes, status, quality, transformation, more of that emotional piece too. So think when you're sharing things on a higher price point, it's not the actual product itself, but it's the feeling that they're going to get when they purchase that product. Here's a quick example. So if someone sells luxury robes, for example, and it's priced at a higher price point than maybe if they were to go and get a normal robe somewhere or 100% cotton robe. That price point for them, you're not selling the robe. I think here's another thing about it. So if someone's going shopping for a robe, there are people that are going to shop for a robe at a low price point that is a robe. It gets the job done. It's a robe. That's it. Then there's going to be people that maybe did not even think about purchasing a robe that day, but they're chasing that emotion or that feeling of luxury, relaxation, stress-free, something to decompress in after a long day. That's what they want out of the purchase that they're looking to buy. So they might not even gone in Google search looking for a robe. Your ad might have showed up and it might see, wow, this is how I could feel if I purchased this product. Weren't even thinking about purchasing a robe, but now they're going to because of that emotion that comes with it. So they're thinking about that transformation piece. They're also thinking maybe about the status symbol. You think about why people buy luxury brands, why they buy, designer bags, things like that. They want that sense of status, that they have the money to be able to afford it. They want to flex it to their audience online or whatever it may be. But they're not buying a product. They're buying the confidence that comes with that product. All of that to go away. What we really want to talk about today is the middle and why that's a big problem. So if you're a business owner listening to this, I want you to think about where your price point lies. And if you're not moving inventory, this could help you kind of determine why. So if your price sits at somewhere in the middle, you lose both advantages. Right now, you might be priced at what you think is reasonable. And for bargain shoppers, that might come across as a little too expensive. And then for high-end buyers, it might not be premium enough for them. So what does that mean for your customer? Your customer takes a look at it. So here's the robe. We have one robe that's $250 and one robe that's $50. What happens when a customer sees your robe at $125. You're just like right in the middle. A customer may hesitate because they're going to compare. They're going to say, oh, well, it's not yet a luxury robe. It's not at that $250 price point. It's not yet an inexpensive robe at $50. So now you're kind of valued at in the middle. You're not a premium product. You're not, a reasonable or efficiently priced product. And they're going to start to question your value. So at that point, you end up working harder for less money. You're trying to appeal to so many people, but it actually ends up being the worst of both worlds. So if you're thinking, wow, I'm looking at my business right now and I am totally in the middle because I think, oh, this is a reasonable price for me. This is what I want to offer. This is what I would pay for it. It doesn't necessarily translate to the audience. So what I want you to do is to pick a lane deliberately. Don't just end up at a price because that's what you think is reasonable. Decide a strategy. Are you optimizing for volume or for margin? Are you going to make a lot of money off of what you're selling and sell fewer units? Or are you going to sell a lot of units and make a lot of money? Because that's what we're doing. We're making a lot of money that way. If you go low, you're really stripping out the complexity. So your offer should be easy to understand, easy to buy, and easy to deliver profitably. So if you are shipping a product, you want to know exactly how much it's going to cost you to ship that product, and it should be reasonable. It should be a very simple buying process for your consumer. Your website should be very straightforward. And the product itself should be easy to understand. There's no emotion tied with it. There's no, experience tied with it. It's very simple, straightforward product. Now, if you decide to go the higher end and you want to be more luxurious, we're going to really increase that perceived value. So what that means is better positioning, clearer outcomes, stronger branding, and often giving a more personalized experience for that customer. So really position your product as an experience, what they're going to receive, how they're going to feel when they receive it, and really ramp up that branding. I want you to really think, most importantly, about not being afraid to move, because a lot of businesses start in the middle because it feels safe, but it's not. You can reposition either by simplifying and lowering the price or by adding value and raising the price. Customers don't just buy based on price, they also buy based on clarity. So when you're selling something in the middle can be very confusing to your audience. But yet when you decide on a price point, you decide where you want to stand. Do you want to offer something at a more reasonable rate, or do you want to go more expensive, more premium? Now that's totally up for you to decide. Either one works for a lot of companies. It often gives that sense of clarity depending on where your business is going to lie on the seesaw. The middle is very confusing to people because you're not selling the luxury experience, but you're also not selling a product that is an easy, quick buy. Really try to be clear because clarity really wins in terms of consumers. Even if you think about it just purchasing online and your own personal purchasing decisions, or if you're at a store and maybe there's something new you want to try, are you more likely to pick it up because it's priced less, or are you more likely to pick it up because there's a whole experience that comes along with it? I also think too, if you're thinking about something from a more premium price point, there's a lot of storytelling that may need to go into your marketing. You may need to really think about that as well. Definitely not a barrier, definitely something that's very reasonable to do, but really take that into consideration when you're saying you're going to be a luxury brand. You can't really just decide that your shirt is going to be a designer shirt if there's no story behind it, if nobody knows about the shirt, if nobody knows the brand, if nobody understands it. Like, the logo itself isn't going to sell until there's a story behind it. So there's a reason why everybody likes, the Polo Ralph Lauren, or they like wearing a designer bag. It's because that company has had that brand reputation and that storytelling for a long time. Really think about that in your strategy too. It may be a slower build, there may be more steps that you need to complete, but you could sell fewer at a higher price point and make more money that way if that's where you want to go with your business. Really brief lesson today, but if you're really pricing something out right now, take a hard look at your products, and it could be one of the products in your product line that's maybe not moving, and think about, are you in the middle with that product? Should you maybe lower the price point and simplify the product, raise the price point, maybe add some more luxury features? And if you're in the middle, which side do you feel like you should move towards? So take some time to really think about that, dive into the strategy. I know it's a lot to think about for a business, but sometimes when you want to say, okay, I'm not getting sales, and you've tried everything, it's easy to just forget about taking a step back and going back into the basics and saying, okay, when I started this company, I wanted people to feel this way when they bought my products. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you didn't want them to feel a certain way. Maybe you just wanted to sell a product, and that's fine. But maybe then you look at the lower end pricing. But if you wanted someone to evoke emotion, and there's a reason that you have a big story behind your brand and you want people to wear it with pride and to put themselves out there and to put your brand out there, then maybe take that into consideration when developing the strategy. Now, this was a lot to unpack today, but if you found value in this episode, please be sure to subscribe, share it with someone who's also building their brand or their business and maybe feels like they're not making the sales that they want to and they're really wondering why. Sometimes we often forget to just kind of go back to the middle and just think, are we stuck in the middle right now? Or do we need to go higher? Do we need to go lower? What do we need to do there? It's not always about the marketing and the tactics behind it. It's often about the basics. And also, like, if your website, what is the emotions that it gives to everybody when they go onto your website? If it gives off a more of a luxury vibe, then don't price your products in that middle area where they're not really sure they're feeling that way. So a lot to unpack, but if you're someone that's building your brand and you know someone else that is, definitely share this episode with them. Sometimes it can be one of those things that we kind of forget to do. So stay tuned for more conversations. We have a lot of great guests coming up on the show, and we're kind of breaking down a lot about business psychology, branding, and really scaling with purpose. So until next time, keep showing up, keep creating, and keep building your story.